Shalom, shalom, Israel. Giving honor to the Most High and His Son Yahushua. I'm Captain Gary with the Battle Axes of the Most High, just coming into with another Thursday night lesson, Thursday night breakdown to get edified in the Most High God's name. Pray that brothers and sisters are endeavoring in this truth each and every day, trying to uplift their spiritual game to combat this world. That's what these classes are for. Just to try to keep us in the spiritual realm of things, to try to keep us pushing. Shalom, brother, like no other kind. Well, sister, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can't see the picture. Shalom, sister Daya. Like we said, these classes are just pick me up classes through the week to keep your spirit lifted, to keep your faith strong, and to endure, this wicked kingdom and captivity that we're in. Like we said, just a little small lesson tonight. Tonight's lesson will be whose sin is greater. So the lesson is we're going to go into Shalom, brother and sister Shafar, brother Hosea. How you doing, brother? I mean, Hosea, I know I always say Hosea. Hosea, how you doing, brother? We're going to whose sin is greater. We're going to go into the sin of Israel, but we're mainly going into the sin of Judah tonight. A lot of times we think of classes pop up on your mind, and it just popped up on my mind because we know that we're being used by the Most High God to go out here and wake up our Northern Kingdom's brothers, like Brother Hosea, like Jose Andres, right? So we know that the Most High God woke us up and pushed Judah out there first. But us as a nation of people, we continue to try to take that for face value and not really understand that. Guess what? We went off as a nation of people too. So we are back. All praises to the Most High God to bring back the Northern Kingdom together, which is going to be Christ's child ultimately. But we're trying to get it together right now before Christ comes, as we are the ambassadors for Christ, the spokesmen for Christ. So we'll just go into a little bit of Judah's sin. We always talk about Israel went off in idolatry. Shalom, shalom, Sister Mary Houston. Brother Daniel, how y'all doing out there in Houston, man? Hope all is well. We always talk about Israel's sin, but we're going to talk about Judah's sin today, man, because we went off. And the question is in the class, whose sin is greater? So hopefully we'll be able to answer that later in the class before we end. Is it even an answer to the question? It's just a class that I thought about and I wanted to jump on today. So let's see where we're going to start, man. Let's go to Hosea chapter 12. Let's start there. All praises, sister. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Hope all my family, man, my Battle Axe family is out there doing good. Shalom to the captains, the officers, the soldiers, brothers and sisters, man. If you pushing this truth, man, you out here being a true light. Shalom, Israel, man. Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 12, and we'll start at verse 1. The book of Hosea, chapter 12, verse 1. Ephraim feedeth on wind, and followeth after the east wind. He daily increaseth lies and desolation. And they do make a covenant with the Assyrians, and oil is carried into Egypt. Now we know we're coming from that east wind. We're coming from what? All the way from the east. We're coming from all the doctrines. Wind is going into doctrines. So we knew the Bible was giving us understanding way back in Genesis. We just did this class prophesying that Israel, the Northern Kingdom, would go into idolatry, go off into mingling with the other nations and things of that nature. So Hosea, the book of Hosea, is really giving you all the insight of how Israel went off. So when you want to look into the Northern Kingdom and how they went off, go to the book of Hosea. But Hosea also is giving you some understanding, just a little bit of what Judah did as well. But verse 1 of 12 says that Ephraim feedeth on wind. We know Ephraim, Samaria, this is the capital. So these are one and the same. We're going into the northern kingdom, right? It said they feeded on wind. Wind is going into doctrine. We was always looking into other doctrines, the northern kingdom, right? And follow it after the east wind, right? Like I said, from the east, you coming all the way from what, China, you coming all the way back from Russia. It is the east wind. We want to take every doctrine that we can possibly come into. That's what we were doing, right? He daily increases lies and desolation. Again, we're talking about the northern kingdom. And they do make a covenant with the Assyrians, and oil is carried into Egypt. So you see that. That's going into what? The northern kingdom going into our Assyrian captivity. Solomon, Officer Yaakov, said Salaki, they do make a covenant with the Syrians. That was going into our Syrian captivity, right? Our second captivity around 720, right? But it says, and oil is carried into Egypt, because that was the other part of Israel's sin, which was mixing with the other nations. So, you know, when you mix oil with that water, now you get what? You get a substance that's not really good. So that's what that's going into, that they were going to be mixing with other nations. Oil is carried into Egypt, right? Verse 2, the Lord had also a controversy with Judah and will punish Jacob according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him, right? So the Most High was also letting us know that guess what? He had a problem with Judah too. We can't get that twisted, man. We got to understand that guess what? We went off as well, man. Yeah, we stuck around a little longer. Sure we did, yeah, but we, you know, sometimes we just speak things and sometimes we just want to bring class to let us know that guess what? Israel, we are trying to bring back the northern kingdom back together and bring them back into the fold. But guess what? We just out of contention ourselves not too long ago. 4 or 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, you know, I would have been still walking around talking about I'm a nigga and I'm African American and doing all the things that were not prosperous in our walk to get salvation. So verse 2 again, the Lord had also a controversy with Judah and will punish Jacob according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him. He took his brother by the heel in the womb, and by his strength he had power with God. So now the Most High God is saying that guess what? He has a problem with Judah because Judah was strong. Jacob was. This is going into Jacob. He said he took took his brother heel, Jacob and Esau. You know, let's get that second Edge 6 and 9. Just give the understanding of what that was going into. Let's start at 6 and 8. Second Edge chapter 6, verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, right? And this was the point of that, right? This is a similitude for that. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? Verse 10, the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question is asked, not thou. So that understanding that Most High is giving us in Hosea in verse 3 of chapter 12, he says, he took his brother by the heel in the womb, and by his strength he had power with God. So the Most High God is letting you know in verse 2 that he got a controversy with Judah, with Jacob, because verse 3 is saying we had so much power, right? And it's going to keep talking. Verse 4, yea, he had power over the angel and prevailed. And we all know that Jacob wrestled with the angel, right? In the pineal gland. He wept and made supplication unto him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spake with us. So the Most High God is saying in verse 2 that he has a problem with Judah as well, with Jacob as well, right? And then he tells us in verse 3 and verse 4 why he has a problem. Because we were so strong of a people. Our forefathers were so strong with the doings of their works, with the fruit of their labor. How could Judah fall off as well as strong as they were, man? As strong as their forefathers were, as strong as their lineage, their bloodline is, right? So he's showing us that he has a problem with Jacob as well, or Judah, which is going to us, right? So we just want to see that, man. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 11. Matter of fact, before we go to 1 Corinthians, Israel, let's go to John chapter 9 first. Salakia. Let's go to John chapter 9 and we'll start at 35. The book of John chapter 9 verse 35. Yahushua heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said unto him, dost thou believe on the Son of God? So this is the man that was healed, right, with his belief. Verse 36, he answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I might believe on him? And Yahushua said unto him, thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. So Shalom, Officer Barakai. So the Most High, so Christ is letting him know, hey, you need to believe on me, man, right? I'm the very one talking to you right now. You need to believe on me, right? Verse 38, and he said, Lord, I believe, and he worshiped him. So the man that the Lord, that Christ is finna heal, he humbled himself and said, Lord, yes, I do believe. It is you. And he said, what? I worship you. So the Most High, so Christ was being worshiped by this man, right? So mainly he started giving him praise, right? To Yahushua. Verse 39, and Yahushua said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind. Now, this is very heavy. This is 39 is a very heavy scripture, man. Let's get into that, man. Verse 39 again, and Yahushua said, for judgment I am coming to this world. And this is the part that we have to understand, that they which see not might see. So they which see not might see. Right? So saying that a person that doesn't have the understanding, right, to come back into what their nationality, to see that we have to do laws, statutes, and commandments, see it at face value. Like I said, it said that they which see not might see. He said, I came that they which see not just might be able to see, right? Like this brother that he's healing, man, right? The man that he's healing. He didn't see it first, but he said, I came that they which see not might be able to see. But the kicker side, and he said, and that they which see might be made blind. We got to keep that in our minds for this class. And that they which see might be made blind. Because what is it that we were seeing? See, you got to take things in the spiritual aspect. What are we talking about? We're talking about what? Israel sin, and we're talking about Judah sin. So in this instance, in this second part, and they that which see might be made blind. That's the part of Judah's sin. Because we saw the northern kingdom go off. We seen it with our own eyes. We saw them dibbling and dabbling with mingling seeds. We saw them going into heavy idolatry, right? And we followed after the same pattern. Like you said, the class is whose sin is greater, right? Because it was prophesied that Israel would go into this captivity, and we know everything was prophesied for the Most High God's work and for the will of the Most High God. Our praise that His will be done, right? Shalom, Sister Hannah. But now Israel went off, and now Judah, you saw it. He said, and that they which see might be made blind. Now we've seen the atrocities of the northern kingdom, and now the Most High God is saying, Christ is saying, I've come back that they which seen this might now be blind to what they've seen. because we've seen what going off. We've seen today's what bringing in today's topics: baby mama, baby daddy. We've seen commercial after commercial, show after TV show with the so-called Jake and the so-called white woman, or the so-called sister Aqua, right? With the so-called Edomite man. That's what we've seen. Christ said, I came that they which seen this might become blind to this, man. That's what we had to do, Israel, Judah, these so-called Negroes. The stuff that we've seen, we are now becoming blind to it, right? That's a heavy precept, man. That's a heavy scripture, man, that Christ is giving us the understanding of, man. And that's why Judah went off. This is why in Hosea 12, Christ says, shoot, I ain't just mad at Israel. I'm mad at Judah too. I got a controversy with them because they were so strong. Their forefather wrestled with the angels. Shalom done Israel. Their forefather was the father, what's the word I'm looking for? Patriarch of the 12 tribes, right? Like I said, we just went into this class 7. The patriarch of the 12 tribes, and y'all seen Israel go off, and instead of you, what? Making supplications and making provisions for the flesh, you went off and did the same damn thing. I'll come that they which see might become blind. That's what we had to do, Israel. We had to come blind to the fact of Easter. We had to become blind to the fact of Christmas. We had to become blind to the fact of what they're portraying as a beautiful woman now, right? We see that being that and with the eyes of the idolatry eyes and the going off eyes. Oh, what's the girl's name that they talking about? The Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallions and what's this the girl doing all these damn songs that these young children are singing right now? Just out there, the Sexy Reds. Well, we had to become blind to that, and now we got to see sisters in their most purest, beautifulest form, which is what? Covered up, man. Modest, head wrap, right? This is what we have to see. We became blind to that, man, right? Or were all of his 4 wives Israelites? No, his 4 wives were not Israelites. You know, his 2. Now he had 4, right? Like no other kind. He had 4. He had 4 wives of the mothers of the 12 tribes of Israel. He had Leah and Rachel, which were Israelites, right? So, but he also had handmaids, Bilhah and I believe Zilpah. That's in Genesis 35. But yes, you're right. We did. We went off into that. But I'm saying this is what the class is about. Yeah, I like that, Sister Sapphire. Unsexy red. A bunch of crap going on. But this is what we're getting into. Now, that, like I said, and once again, like no other, we got to understand that the Most High God did a lot of these things for the kingdom, for the building of the kingdom to get this thing started, right? But at that time, you know, we were kings at that time, right? We took the spoil of the other nations, and we also took their wives as well, right? But you are exactly right. But it's just the timing of that period. How the Most High God, we took their spoils, we took their wives, right? Also to bring forth the 12 tribes of Israel, Jacob had to what? Sleep with the handmaids as well too, right? Because at one time, you know, Rachel, she couldn't have children at a time. She was barren. And to the Most High God opened her womb, right? Shalom to live. So, you know, and that's for the greater good of the nation. But then we go into what, knowing that and that's, I mean, that's a great question too, like no other, because I was gonna do a class on that, man. Right? I was gonna do a class on that, man, about the greater gift of the Most High God, and for us, the purpose, basically his purpose, man. His purpose, right? So to your point, you're right, but this is what we're going into in this class, that Israel did go off, man. So we want to make sure that we understand in verse 39 of John what Christ is saying. I'm going to read it one more time. And Yahweh said, for judgment I am coming to the world, right? That they would see, that they would see not might see, and that they would see might be made blind. So the most Christ is giving us the understanding that he's come, that those that had a blind eye, because we know the Most High God in Isaiah 28:9, he opened our eyes to this truth now, right? A lot of people, he still haven't opened their eyes to it. But all praise to the Most High God, he was able to use us, right? To open our eyes to come back to him now, right? So they that they would see not might see. That was us. That didn't see, and now we're seeing. But also that they would see might be made blind. In this instance of this class, Jacob, Israel, Judah, we saw our northern kingdom brothers and sisters go off, but we didn't take heed of it. See, that's the thing about this class. We got to start taking heed of the examples that the Most High God gives us. That's why you got to go into the whole Bible and go into the Old Testament. The Old Testament is your examples. Like we brought out in the class, James 5:10. It is your example. Shalom, Sister Netta. That's why we're going to the Old Testament, because that is your example. Now let's go to 1 Corinthians. Matter of fact, let's finish that off. Let's stay in John chapter 9 and read 39, and we'll read down to 41. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't leave, because I want to get 41. Verse 39, and Yahweh said, for judgment I am coming to this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind. So a lot of people, all praise to the Most High God. That's right. A lot of people won't understand that scripture, that they which see might be made blind. Why would he want us to be made blind? He wants us to be made blind to the foolishness of this world. He wants us to be made blind of the baby mama, baby daddy, of everything that's going on that we don't need in our lives, right? Verse 40, and some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words and said unto him, are we blind also? See, and I love this, because Christ was cutting up the scribes and Pharisees on a daily basis. They had no understanding. I ain't gonna say they had no understanding, but they couldn't possibly understand the master teacher's wisdom, man. That's just how they answered in verse 40. So are we blind also then? Yes, they were, right? They were very blind to the fact. Verse 41, Yahweh said unto them, if ye were blind, ye should have no sin. And this is another heavy part. If you were blind, you would have no sin. Y'all seeing and looking at the atrocities that's going on. Y'all are looking at the wickedness of this world. You're not blind. Because if you were blind, you wouldn't have no sin. So he's giving you the understanding of what he's saying in 39. He said, I'm trying to make you blind to wickedness. That's what he's saying. If you were blind, you would have no sin. Right? But now he's saying, we see, therefore your sin remaineth. Hey, that's heavy, man. That's heavy. We see our sin is still here. Every day you wake up, when you go to work, when you're at these jobs, you're not blind. So your sin is still around you. But what Christ said is, I need you to become blind to that fact, man. Right? It's like John chapter 4 when he said Matthew. That Matthew where he said yeah, it's Matthew 4, where he said if your eye offend thee, pluck it out, right? Is that the real understanding of what he's saying? He's saying, no, mortify your members of things that are not good for you. Judah, you should have been seeing Israel go off. So whose sin is greater? Israel going off or Judah going right off after them, after they seen what Israel went through? That's the question for the class, right? That's the question. 41 again, then we'll get out for it. It's kind of hard though, because Christ, man, in this little small 5-6 scriptures, Christ is really cutting up some things, man. Verse 41 again in John chapter 9. Yahweh said unto them, if ye were blind, you should have no sin. Because the Pharisees asked, are we blind? Shoot, Christ said, if y'all was blind, y'all wouldn't be out here what? Talking about washing the cups and washing your hands. Y'all will be out here actually doing the damn commandments, right? He said, but now ye say, we see. Therefore your sin remains. We see, Israel. We're still in this skin. We're still in this flesh. So we see it daily. Your sin, your wickedness, your old man is going to come up on you daily. Your old woman is going to come up on you and try to creep up behind you daily. Right? But we got to become blind to that fact. It's great. That's heavy, man. Now let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 11. Hope y'all got the understanding of that, of Christ's breakdown in John chapter 9. It's tough, man, because that is what we did as the Southern Kingdom. We saw our Northern Kingdom go off, and instead of learning from the mistakes, we made the same damn mistakes, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 10, let's start at verse 11. Shalom, Sister Yariel. I ain't see you on there. Hey. Yes, sir, Sister Sapphire. Yes, all praises. Verse 11. Now all these things happen unto them for ensamples. You see that? This is what we're getting into. Make sure you put this, you can precept that with John chapter 9. Because it was supposed to be examples for you to see. Now all these things happen unto them for ensamples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. So things that were that went on in our lifetime, right? This right now, Israel. If you have breath to breathe, if the Most High God gave you grace today, and you're able to see this class right now, you should have had some examples in your day today. Whether you went to work, whether you dropped the children off at school, you should have seen something that gave you an example of how not to follow in the blindness of or the eyes of being able to see what this world offers us, man. Basically, I was looking the other night. Something hit my phone. I'm going into my Berechiah mode right now. Berechiah always got a story. I'll praise it to that brother, man. A word story too. But I'm looking on my phone, and it says that Jackie Robinson, the baseball player that was hated because he was one of the first so-called Negro baseball players, they found his statue dismembered and burned. Damn. They hate us, man. They still hate us. Well, we just go, that ought to be an example. You ought to be able to see that and say, damn, we out here still loving the so-called. Now, who you think did that? You think a brother went out there, I'm tired of Jackie Robinson with all these damn accolades, man, all these home runs he done hit. I'm going to go and burn his statue and dismember it, disfigure it. Come on, man. Hell no, man. These things should be examples for us to see that guess what? They hated you then, and damn it, they still hate you right now, man. Sure, you got your little what they call a little raise. Yeah, that's because they don't want to lose your nigger butt. Right? They don't want to lose your little Negro butt because that Negro work hard. That's a hard working Negro. I can give them $19 an hour. Sure. We're making millions. And I need you to be around here and work hard because can't now another work like you. Can't now another push that button like you on that machine right on time. Can't now another stack them chairs at that job just like you. Can't now another do it, man. Now another, we need you. Because they ain't going to do it. But these things ought to be examples for us, man. In your daily walk every day, you should see examples of things not to fall in the trap of, man, right? That's what it's about. Verse 12. 1 Corinthians 10 and 12. Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. And that's what we did. We should have took heed of our northern kingdom brothers going into captivity, right? In the Syrian captivity. But yet and still, did we? No. Take heed lest ye fall. We fell, man. Yeah, you know, Israel, you know, we talk, man. Bro, Kai be having them stories, we do too. I know, right? We talk, man. I'm gonna tell you, I meet brothers every day that say they Israelites, and I leave off with a brother from talking to him, and I'll be like, that's the Israelite for real. That brother won't let me leave. That brother want to talk to me and want to keep talking. My wife brought up this. Look, I got another story, y'all. I'm sorry. Sorry. My wife, she sent me this thing. And like, it was this comedy thing. You ever ran into the wrong Edomite? They just started talking. And you know, my sister, she lived in Atlanta. I see you got your Atlanta hat on. My sister stayed in Atlanta, worked at the hospital. They fired her. Now she's staying with us, right? He said, my brother, he drove trucks till one day the damn tire blew his knee all to hell. Now he's not driving trucks anymore. Now he's staying with us. That's an Israelite for you, man. An Israelite go talk to you and want to hear what you got to say, man. Right? They want to talk. So yeah, we do. We be having them stories, man. But verse 12 again, wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. Because we were standing at that time, right, Israel? The southern kingdom, the southern tribes, we were standing at that time. He said that he that thinketh he standeth, you better take heed lest you fall. And that's what we did. We didn't take heed of the wickedness of our northern kingdom counterparts, and now we fail ourselves, right? So that's what happened with us, man. That's exactly what happened with us, and this is why we went into a lot of these atrocities and things. But like I said, the question is, whose sin was greater, man? All right. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 3. Let's get into some of this, man. Let's start at 1. We're gonna read down a little bit. Jeremiah chapter 3, and we're gonna start at verse 1. Verse 1, they say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, said the Lord. All praises to the Most High God. All praises to the Most High God. He gave you a great example right inside that one verse. He said, they say if a man's wife go with another man and play the harlot, would you go back to her? They do. The stories make it more reliable. That's why it's good to go into the Kings and the Chronicles to get them stories, man. Great stories that the Most High God give us, man. We just said if a man's wife sleeps with another man, she has polluted her temple, has polluted that land. Would you go back to that land? That land is polluted now, right? Hell no. But Christ said, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. But we played the harlot. Hell, we wanted to be Egyptologists. We wanted to be Christians. No, y'all want to be a Christian. You might not want to be Egyptologist. But no damn show, we were some Christians. We wanted to go to that church, sing in them choirs, throw that tambourine, hit that thing on our leg a couple times. Oh, yeah. We played the harlot. Right? Muslims, atheists, stop believing in the Most High God. But he said, thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. We went into many doctrines, winds of doctrines. He said, yet return again to me, said the Lord. All praises to the Most High God. for us being filthy rags, but the Most High God saying, you still can return to me. I'm still your husband. You're still the wife. Hallelujah for that, man. Verse 2. Lift up thine eyes into the high places and see what thou hast not been lying with. And he said, look around. The high places going into what? Like we said, these doctrines, these winds in every doctrine, right? And see where you have been lying with somebody, right? In the ways hast thou set for them, as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with the whoredoms, with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness. So we have polluted this thing, right? Verse 3. Therefore, the showers have been withholden, and there has been no latter rain, and thou hadst a whore's forehead. Thou refused it to be ashamed. And at the point of time, we wasn't ashamed of what we were doing, man. Now I know brothers and sisters online, I know y'all look at your old ways and your old days, and sometimes you be really ashamed of the things that we pulled off, man. The doctrines that we went into, the behaviors or patterns of bad works that we had, man. Right? Wilt thou not from this time cry unto me, my father? Thou art the God of my youth. Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldst. Right? So the Most High God said he ain't gonna reserve his sins, and we're gonna keep reading because he gonna let you know he won't be angry forever with us. All praise. Verse 6. Now I'm gonna show you in my book, in my Bible. I don't know if y'all will be able to see that, but you know I have that way. I know you can't see it, but I have the notes, right? So in verse 6 starts. The note for verse 6 says, Judah's sin is greater than Israel's sin. That's what my side note says before we start reading verse 6 in my Bible. Judah's sin is greater than Israel's sin. Right? Like I said, just had to throw that out there. Like I said, the question is whose sin is greater? But we just going through precepts, right? To see if we can answer the question. Like we said, is there an answer for the question? Right? Just the name of the class. Verse 6, the Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel had done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot. So he asked the question. Remember Josiah, man, the king, man. Have you not seen the northern kingdom go off on every high mountain, on every wind of doctrine, on every strong government, right? And under every green tree, under all the men, all the people, right? Have you seen it and played the harlot? Verse 7, and I said after she had done all these things, turn down to me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. See, that's cold. Her treacherous sister Judah saw it. We saw it. Remember John 9? He told him, he said, I came that they which would see not could see, and they which were what? Blind, and those that could see could become blind. Israel, Judah at this time, we was able to see. Now he had to he had to make us blind to the fact now, right? And read 7 again. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. And that's cold-blooded when you put that word before us. Not just her sister, but her treacherous sister. Dang. Saw it. Verse 8. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. We saw the northern kingdom get put away. Like the Most High just said, We saw him give the northern kingdom a bill of divorcement. That's when you get into your Hosea 12, man. Right? Going back to that, where it was said they are not my people. Right? Let's get that real quick. Let's go to Hosea chapter 1, verse let's start at 9. I said 12, Shalaki family. Hosea chapter 1, and we'll read down to 11. We'll start at verse 9. Verse 9, then said God, call his name Lo Ami, which means not my people, right? But you are not, the scripture says, for you are not my people, and I will not be your God. So the Most High God put Israel away, gave them a bill of divorcement. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. So this is the Most High God putting away the northern kingdom, right? But saying that guess what? They were going to be able to return. So we already know this is not going into no other nation outside of Israel, right? Verse 11, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together. Come on, man. How can you put anybody else there, man? The children of Judah and the children of Israel should be gathered together. Knowing that when you see Judah, you're going into the southern kingdom. All the time when you see Israel, you're going into the northern kingdom, right? Or Israel might be explaining us as a whole as well, right? But when you see Judah and Israel mix, 9 times out of 10, your Israel is northern kingdom and Judah is the southern kingdom. And appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. So we see that. So let's go back to Jeremiah 3 and 8. Jeremiah 3 and 8. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away, right? They're not my people, right? And given her a bill of divorcement. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the same damn harlot. Shalaki family. I didn't mean to put that in the scriptures, but we went and played the same harlot, right? But went and played the harlot also. That's what the scripture says, Shalaki. So we went and did the same detestable acts after we seen the Most High God do away with the northern kingdom and give them a bill of divorcement. That's terrible, man. Right? Verse 9, and it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah had not returned unto me with her whole heart, but fiendly, said the Lord. So even to this day, we got to come back to the Most High God with our whole heart, right? And I'm guilty. I know I can tell I'm guilty of the half-assing sometimes, man. The not giving my first, man, the firstlings, knowing that these same things happen and gave us examples in the scriptures, man. In Genesis 4, when you see that Cain killed his brother Abel because Abel gave the firstlings, man. Right? We don't want to get that spirit on us, man. So we got to make sure that we come back wholeheartedly to our God, man. He said, but fiendly, said the Lord. A lot of times, brothers and sisters just going through the motions with this thing, man. And we don't want to get into, I say this word all the time, we don't want to come into complacency. We don't want to get complacent, Israel, man. We don't want to just be doing this, walking out the house, just putting on a shirt that got fringes on it. Why are you putting on that shirt that got fringes on it, right? Sister walking out the house with a modest dress and a head wrap. Why? Don't just do it, but do it for a reason. Why are you walking at that house like that? We got to get to that, man. Verse 11, and the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel has justified herself more than treacherous Judah. You see that? That's what the Most High God said. Those coming out the big guy's mouth, man. That's his words. Read 11 again. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel has justified herself more than the treacherous Judah. So the question again is, whose sin was greater, man, right? That's tough, man. Verse 12, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return thy backsliding Israel, said the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, said the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. So I told you that the Most High God was going to tell you that he's not angry with us forever, man. I'll praise him for that. He said he's a merciful God. I pray and thank the Most High God every day. Shalom, Cleveland lawyer. What it do, man? I thank the Most High God every day that he deals with us with compassion and that he's a merciful God, man, right? I pray to him every day for that, Israel, man. All right? So it said, go and proclaim these words toward the north. Because where are we at? We're in the north right now. We're in what? Northern and Southern America. The north is going to what? The United States, man, here, right? And say, return thou backsliding Israel, said the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, said the Lord, and will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, and has scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree. And we know that tree is going into what? Men, right? And we'll get into that a little later when we go into the next field. Said under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, said the Lord. So we were going after every man's ways except our God's way. And it's crazy how these scriptures go back each other up, man. Because it's going to tell you, man, you have to put your trust in the Most High God than man. And we was putting our trust in man. So 13 again, only acknowledge thine iniquity. That's what we got to do, Israel. We got to start acknowledging our iniquity, man, right? Acknowledging, telling the Lord, like, I ain't gonna lie, Maccabee used to always say that. Just tell him you're dirty, you're filthy. Yeah, sometimes we got to let him know, Lord, I'm filthy. Wash me, man, right? We always talked about that at Camp 101, how Christ said, well, let me wash your feet. You be like, man, Christ washing my feet? Like, man, I'm filthy. I'm filthy. But shoot, man, Christ showed you that he can play humble and humility, and guess what? That's what he wants us to do as well. Verse 14, turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you. The Lord said, man, I'm still here. I'm still here. You are still mine, and I am still yours, right? That's our praises, man. I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So the Most High God gave us that knowledge. When you see your leaders, when you see your Naquams, and you see your guerrilla Hebrews, and you see your deacon Akans, and your Bishop Nathaniels, when you see them, he gave us that he gave us that knowledge, man, and understanding, man. Right? All praises for that, man. Let's go to let's see, do I want this? Let me see right quick, Israel. Like I said again, the question was whose sin is greater. I don't know if we got the question answered yet, but you know, just something to think of. Let's go to 1 Kings 14. And we can get this. Let's go to 1 Kings 14 and 22. First Kings 14 and 22. Well, let's start at 21. Let's read about Rehoboam, man. Verse 21, and Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess, right? And Judah, verse 22, and Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins, which they had committed above all that their fathers had done. So you see that as great as our fathers were, as great as King Solomon, Rehoboam's dad was, as great as King David was, we still did sin as great as our forefathers was, man. Right? As great as our forefathers were, the examples that they showed us, we still took hold of wickedness, man. Right? And that's what this thing is about, man. Letting this thing be your example. Your everyday grace period should be your example, man. Your everyday walk, your everyday life, everything you accomplish, everything that you fail, everything that you come across, every endeavor in your life needs to be for an example, man. Right? Something that you needed to see, or something that you didn't need to see. So Christ could be like, what? Those that see not will be able to see, and those that see will become blind. Man. We got to become blind to a lot of these atrocities, Israel. I'll pray to the Most High God for dealing with us, merciful enough not to what knock us off, man. Giving us this grace period to get time to come back to this thing, because a lot of times we get kind of on that high note, you know. Yeah, man, shoot, the Northern Kingdom better be glad he woke us up, man. We the ones out there pushing. Yeah, we are. But it's the will of the Most High God, man. It ain't because we was doing right. Hell, we did wrong too. Don't get it twisted. I had a song called in the word. Don't get it twisted, man. Let's go to Isaiah 49. Do not get it twisted, Israel, man. Let's read verse 6. Yeah, we out there on them corners, man. Yeah, you see Judah out there, man. But that is because I'm gonna tell you, man. If you're looking and you're reading your Bible and if you're putting this thing together, that is because what? Christ comes from the lineage of Judah, man, from the line of Judah, man. We had to go out there and proclaim that, man, to proclaim and to take away what? That Job 9:24. Right? How they whitewashed our images. We had to come back and take that back, man. That's why the Most High God put us in like first to come out, right? And we're gonna read these things. Isaiah 49:6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. And it's a light thing, man. The Most High God could have woke up the Northern Kingdom first. He could have woke up Manasseh first. He could have woke up Judah first. He could have woke up Simeon first, Levi, right? He could have woke up Benjamin. Shout out to Ehud. Benji. He could have woke up anybody first. It's a light thing, man. Don't get it twisted, man. It's a very light thing that the Most High God woke up the tents of Judah first, right? Let me read that again. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So it's a light thing, man. Like I said, don't get it twisted, because the Most High God could have woke up anybody first, man. But he chose to wake up Judah first, man. All right? Let's go to Zechariah 12. You already know. You should already know we're going after that. I gave y'all a hint. I'll praise to the Most High. That's right. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 12, man. We'll start at verse 6. Zechariah 12:6. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf, and they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. So the Most High God said he was going to make us that strong fire. He said like a torch. All praises. I almost forgot to return your salute. Oh, Shalom, brother, man, you all good, man. It's all good, man. So the Most High God said he was going to make Judah like a fire, right? Verse 7, the Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah, right? So it's always a reason for the Most High God. It's always his will for what he's doing at that time, right? He said, for that the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah, man, right? Because they could have came out talking about, oh, it's a, like they try to do right now, it's a peach-colored Messiah. Oh, he looks like Ephraim, a cake not turned. Like I said, the Most High God did that to give us the understanding of the so-called Black Messiah, man. That's why, right? That we wouldn't go into all these other because I'm gonna tell you, man, Ephraim, Northern Kingdom too. We dealt with a lot of brothers from the Northern Kingdom, man, that kind of turned because they couldn't accept that Judah was the head tribe of right now, right? But we just read that the Most High God said it was a light thing, man. All right, we're trying to break that wall of partition. That's what Christ's job is to do. We're not trying to stay divided. We're trying to conquer now. We're trying to conquer. We're trying to come together now. So we're trying to break that wall of partition, man. All right. And he said that in verse, let's go to 11. Let's read Zechariah 11 and 14 right quick before we go. We're going to keep reading, but let's go to 11 and 14 right quick and read that. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even the bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel, right? So that this is going into the wall of partition right there, right? Verse 15, and the Lord said unto me, take unto thee yet the instruments of a foolish shepherd, right? For lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall seek the young one, nor heal that is broken, nor feed that standeth still. But he shall eat the flesh of the fat and tear the claws in pieces. So I don't want Brother Lamar. So we going into the Most High God trying to break that wall of partition, man, right? Those bands that he was talking about in verse 14, man. Let's go back to 12 and let's read verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. I've been trying to read too fast. This was like verse 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. So the Most High God said, even our weakest are going to be as strong as David. And the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come again against Jerusalem. So the Most High God did wake up the tents of Judah first, but it was always for his purpose, for his will, man. And sometimes we don't understand that, Israel. But what we do need to understand is that it's a light thing that he did it. You better give all praise and glory to the Most High God for doing it, man. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 17. Get into this last little piece, man, before I said it won't be a long class, but let's start at 17 and let's start at verse 1. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 1. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the tables of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. That's heavy too, man. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron, right? And with the point of a diamond. Because diamonds, man, they able to write with, man. They stuff. They tough. Your diamond should be able to take some hits and some falls, right? Right. But it's really giving me the understanding that where it was written at was in their hearts or in their mind. Let's read it again. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. So where it was written, that was in their minds when they what? When they saw the wickedness, they wanted to become part of the wickedness. Like we said, the Most High God said, those that see need to become blind, right? When we saw the wickedness, we wanted to what? Become part of it. Oh man, they out there having a great time. They celebrating Christmas. Man, they out there putting up trees. They out there giving presents away. I'm finna get a gift. Oh yeah, I want to do that. Right? So we see that it was written upon our hearts and our minds, right? That's what it's saying. Let's get a precept. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Oh, forgive me, Israel. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. First Corinthians chapter 3 and verse. Is that? Second Corinthians. It's like Israel. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. No, I wasn't tripping, man. Well, I was, but forgive me. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. This is the precept to Jeremiah 17:1. For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistles of Christ, right? The spokesman, the letters. You can also put that 2 Corinthians 5:20 right here. We are declared, manifestly declared to be the epistles of Christ, right? The letters, the words, the spokesman of Christ, ministered by us. You see that? Because we are the ministers. Christ is ministered by us. We're the ones out here putting the so-called Black Messiah back into the world now. We're the ones out here putting God's law, statutes, and commandments back into the world right now, right? Ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God. You see that? Because we ain't out here like Moses. We ain't going up there getting it written in stone, coming back telling Israel. Now we out here with the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahweh Shah, right? Now we got that Spirit on us. Now we out here. Now you see brothers out there going hard, man. You see brothers out there really in the Spirit, man. Out there at them camps, man. I'm talking about. You see brothers out there breaking them off. You be like, "Ooh," you look back like, "Ooh, that brother in the Spirit." Damn, right? Because now we got the Spirit of God. We ain't got no pen. In fact, we don't need that. We need the Spirit of the Most High God. Because, like you said, who gave us the authority? They always ask us, who gave y'all the authority to be priests and pastors of the Most High God? Right? The Most High God. We ain't had to get ordained by no damn theological school or nothing. All we needed was the Most High God to put His Spirit upon us, man. Right? Written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God, not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart. So you see that we are the ones that's doing that. We are the ministers of the Most High God, and we are here speaking with the Spirit of God, man. Right? So make sure you put that. I gotta put it myself on. I ain't write it down. I'm trying to remember. 2 Corinthians 3:3. I gotta put it in my own Bible as well. So put that. Let's go back to Jeremiah 17. Let's read verse 2. Verse 2. With their children, remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. You see that? Will we remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills? So we already know. Let's break that down. What are these trees going into, man? All right, let's go to Mark 8. Let's go to Mark 8. Let's see what these trees are going into. Mark 8:24. Mark 8:24. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking, right? So we see these trees are going into men. You can also put Job 14, man. You can put Job 14:7 right there as well. So verse 2, let's go back to Jeremiah. With their children, remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills, the men that are upon the high hills, right? So what are these men? What kind of hills are these men on? Or are they like out there in the pastures with the hills, man? You know, when I used to draw a lot, I used to draw like them big curves, man. And I put one right there and I put another on top. Is this men out there on hills? What are these hills going into, man? Lord have mercy. Every time, Israel, Shalaki, man, somebody's at my door, man. Who is it? What's up? What's up? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, man. You good. You good. Oh, my landlord is real. She like it, man. You know, my landlord. But he said, I see men as trees, right? So we know that verse 2, when he says, by the green trees upon the high hills, this is men upon the high hills. What kind of hills are these, though? Let's go to Micah 6:1. What does hills go into? Shalaki family. What do hills go into? Let's get that real quick. Let's go to Micah 6:1. Hear ye now what the Lord said, arise, contend thou before the mountains, and let the hills hear thy voice. Contend thou before the mountains. When you contend, what does contend mean? That's right, Brother Don. Contend means what? Speak or prophesy against, right? Contend. We got some contention, right? Nations. That's right. So he said, contend thou before the mountains and let the hills hear thy voice. So we're going into what? Small nations or governments, right? So when we go back into Jeremiah 17:3-2, with their children, remember the altars, and it grows by the green trees, by the men upon the high hills, upon the mountains, upon these nations, these other nations, right? So make sure you put your Micah 6:1 right there, your Mark 8:24. You can also put your Job 14:7, right? Let's read verse 3. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and the high places for sin throughout all thy borders. I'm the slowest one in here, Kevin Yar. I'm trying to catch up. No problem. That's all right. I'm glad you said that, because we can definitely slow it down. I just dissed you. Slow it down. I just dissed you. So in Jeremiah 17:1, you can make sure you put your 2 Corinthians 3:3, right? Going into what? Now the tables of stone written is actually us, not with ink or stones, tables, but actually with the word of God or the spirit of God. Verse 2, you want to precept by the green trees, you want to precept trees with Mark 8:24 or Job 14:7. That is going into what trees are, right? Which are going into men. And upon the high hills, you want to put your Micah 6:1, going into what? Small hills are going into what? Nations or small nations. So men with men of other nations, basically, is what verse 2 is going into. Let's get another precept while we're here, like we can just take our time. Let's go to Isaiah 41:15. Hey, we normally say if we're going too slow, if we're going too fast, raise your hand. Can't raise your hand, sister, but you definitely can put it out there. Let us know. All praises. Let's go to Isaiah 41 right quick. Let's get another precept on there. 41:15. That thunder roaring out there. Hey, man, all praises to the Most High, man, the Creator, right? Isaiah 41:15. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument, having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and it shall make the hills as chaff. So we see that mountains, can we literally? Yeah, that's another great point, Sapphire. All praises. Make sure y'all go back and watch the class, man, because you might have, like I said, I read real fast, and sometimes I go over words, and y'all probably didn't hear what I was saying, or make sure you, hey, test Cap out too. I could be, you got to go back and read it. You got to go back into it. Come back with a Cap. I got a question about this. Woo, hey, let's get to it, right? But 41 and 15. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. So he's talking about us making us sharp instruments, right? That shall thresh the mountains. Can we literally thresh a mountain? Can we go out there and beat the mountain? Nah, not the work of the Most High God, like Ox said. Shoot, not the work of the Most High God, not a mountain. And beat them small and shall make the hills as chaff. Can we go out there and make the hills as chaff by beating them, being a threshing instrument? No, we're going into governments and people, right? We're going into governments and people. That's another precept. Let's go to Psalm. Let's get one more. All these precepts with Jeremiah 17 and verse 2. Let's get one more. Let's go to Psalm 68 and 15. All praises. Sister there, government, that's right. Let's go to Psalm 68 and 15. The book of Psalms 68 and 15. The hill of God is as the hill of Bashan, and high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap ye high hills? This is the hill which God desired to dwell in. So, like we said, this hill, what is God's government or God's hill? This God's government is his people, right? Because, like, read 15, the hill of God is at the hill of Bashan. If y'all know about Bashan, it was the landmass over like in Palestine, right? Today's Palestine. Back in that time, it was like east of the Jordan River. It was given to Manasseh. I think it was given to Manasseh and Gad. Manasseh, Reuben, and Gad. Bashan was like a smooth area. It was great. It was known for having what? Rich land and thick forests. Think about that. Bashan was like known for a smooth. He said his hill is like Bashan, right? It had rich pastures. The ground was good to till, and it had thick forests. Now, what are we talking about? Trees are men, right? Bashan, thick forests. That means that it was great men. That is God's hill, his men, right? Proverbs 23 and 21. I got to go look at that. Emmanuel Shalom, man. So we see that Bashan is going into God's hill, which is going into his government, which is what? Going into his people, his men. Bashan was known for rich pastures and thick forests. So these are strong men that the Most High God said his hill is. Let's read it again. Psalm 68 and 15. The hill of God is the hill of Bashan, and high hill as the hill of Bashan, right? So you see that that's what that's going into. Let's go back to Jeremiah. Let's finish this off. Jeremiah 17, let's read verse 2 again. With thy children, remember the altars and the groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage. So you see this? So now when you read down and you get a better understanding, it's talking about even Judah, even ourselves are going to discontinue from our heritage. You see that? So even though the Most High God had his high mountain and his government, he was showing that we was going to go into their government and we were going to take on their ways, right? And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, or you'll kindle the fire in my anger, which shall burn forever, right? So we see that that's making more sense now, because now he was telling Judah that y'all was going to go into it too. Y'all was going to go off too, right? Let's get this last precept, man. Let's go to James 4 and 13. I know my landlord out here, they trying to redo my floors, man. I'm not, man. sound good. It sounds good. But you're gonna have people all the time up in here, invading your privacy and your space. But you gotta do it, man. Let me vent to y'all a little bit. James 4 and 13. This will be the last precept we'll get along. 4 and 13. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know that what shall be on the morrow. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeared for a little time and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. But now you rejoice in your boasting. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So we got to make sure that the Lord's will, we do this, man, right? We got to make sure that we don't boast about, oh, what Israel went into sin and now Judah trying to get them out of. No. Lord's will that he does bring us back together, man. Like you said, you don't know what your life is. Your life can vanish and evaporate away, man, just like that. But we always want to let the Lord know that, Lord, your will be done, man, right? We always say, keep the laws of the Most High God. Let's get this law before we go. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 1. Deuteronomy 4 and 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statute and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which the Lord your Lord God of your fathers giveth you. So we got statutes and judgment that we got to do, Israel. All praise to the Most High God for this lesson. Whose sin was greater, Israel? Hope y'all had a great lesson today. Thank y'all for tuning in, brothers and sisters. Let's have a great week leading up into our day of preparation tomorrow. And I hope you brothers have a great Sabbath. With that, I say shalom.